Well, that sucks. I'm Nick Holmes. I'm a fueling automation engineer, a voluntary rescue technician, and a passionate aviator. Join me as I take you through learning to fly and onto the adventures of backcountry aviation in South Africa. Yeah, I'm gonna have to respray this wing.
That's the problem. The patch up is going to be the tiring part. Big word.
But the fuel has been wrecking the paint anyway. Huh?
Yeah.
It's been stripping it off here. So, but I still think they've cut this wing before. Looking at this, there's a ridge
You're
here,
going to cut it.
a Dremel. So it's a thin
Yeah, I was
cut.
going to say, otherwise you say one more.
Yeah, so a Dremel, I think I've got a 0.6 disc on the Dremel.
Nice, yeah.
So I can really do a really thin cut. So I don't want a gap in anything if I can help it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've just cut this wing tank open. I'm kind of glad I did cut it open. I've been dreading cutting it open, but this has obviously been cut open before. Just look at this. Somebody's tried to laminate something on there. I don't know what the hell this is. It's some form of epoxy. Some form of epoxy over here on this baffle rib. I don't know. This looks like a really shitty, disastrous job to me. And then look at this shit. What is this? Let me try to coat this tank, and I've done a really bad fucking job of it. Like a bad job. Let's see. Let's just put this camera in there. Let me get some lights. What the actual stuff is that? I can't believe it. Look at that. Okay, there's a bit of fuel in the bottom here, so we have to let it evaporate, and then we're going to have to flush this tank out. Honestly, can't believe it. That is just utterly disastrous. What the hell? I think somebody's tried to slosh this tank and has done a really shit job of it. Oh. Man, this is more work than I was hoping. Oh well, we've started something. Right, so this is going to be a lot more work than what I originally anticipated. What I originally hoped for. But anyway, we're just going to have to prep this tank up properly. I don't know how I'm going to get in here to wire brush it and clean it up and what have you. Hopefully I don't have to cut the whole tank open. That might actually be easier. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. Great, it's really great though. Oh well, I suppose, as Patey says, let's get back to work. Come on, I'm stuck. Oh shit. Oh, here we go. Alright, well, we're looking a lot better than we did earlier. I mean, that's pretty much a bit of a mess, but we'll grind that out. That looks pretty cool. This side's looking pretty decent. Get a vacuum in there, clean that out. And yeah, it doesn't look half bad. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to get in here and wash it. So most of that shit there is just everything from grinding and sanding, all these loose bits. We just need to wash it out now. But yeah, that looks a hell of a lot better than what it did. This big chunk of epoxy here in the corner, that ain't coming out. I'm not going to sit and sand it out. It's well and good bonded in there, so we'll just coat over it. We just prep it, rough up the surface and coat over it. But yep, everything else is looking pretty good. We went and cut an inspection hatch in the other tank just to make sure that one didn't have any crap in it, and that one's good. So that's just putting that cover back in, and it did have a leak in the bottom left hand corner of that cut, so that's why I wasn't too worried about cutting it open. So we can just patch that, put it all back together. And now this is going to be the fun part, actually patching this tank. So I'm sitting here editing the latest episode. It's been many weeks since I've actually looked at videos, actually done anything. There's been just a lot of stuff going on. The plane is out of action. The wing tank repair has actually manifested into a whole bunch of other faults that we found whilst assessing the wing tank. we sort of went through the plane and had a look at some other bits and pieces. We found one of the rudder pedals had a crack in it, so we've pulled the rudder pedals out, and we're going to carry out the service bulletin to gusset them. And then we found a crack on the bell housing in the engine where the starter motor bolts on, so we've got to get that repaired, and then hopefully we'll be back in the air. But up until then, I don't know how long it's going to take to get us flying again. We've got a lot of repairs to do, got a lot of other things happening, so it just is what it is. Anyway, we'll bring you some more repair videos in the coming weeks, but until then, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, it does help us out, and I hope to see you soon.